can't believe our first hit MIT. MJ.
Okay, so I genuinely think Spider-Man Brand New Day might become one of the most important MCU movies in years. Not just because it's another Spider-Man film, but because this movie honestly feels like Marvel's last big chance to reconnect emotionally with audiences before everything explodes again in Avengers Doomsday. And after the chaos of the multiverse saga lately, that might be exactly what the MCU needs right now. Because let's be honest, a lot of fans have started feeling disconnected from Marvel recently. Too many universes, too many timelines, too many projects, and sometimes it feels like the emotional core that made the MCU special got buried underneath non-stop setup and spectacle. That's why Brand New Day feels different already. This movie sounds smaller, more personal, more grounded, and honestly, that might be its biggest strength. After the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home, Peter Parker lost everything. Nobody remembers him anymore. Not MJ, not Ned, not the Avengers, nothing. And honestly, that ending completely changed the future of Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the best possible way, because for the first time, we finally have a Peter Parker who truly feels alone. No billionaire mentors, no Stark technology everywhere, no safety net. Just Peter, a tiny apartment, a police scanner, and New York City. That's the Spider-Man a lot of fans have wanted for years. Now, according to rumors, Brand New Day takes place several years later, with Peter operating as a full-time street-level Spider-Man while trying to survive emotionally after losing his entire identity. And honestly, that concept alone already sounds incredible to me, because Spider-Man works best when the story feels personal, not universe-ending, not cosmic, personal. That's why people still love stories like Marvel's Spider-Man or Daredevil. The emotional struggle matters just as much as the action, and this movie sounds like it's finally embracing that darker, more mature direction. Now, the thing that really caught my attention is the rumor about Peter experiencing a dangerous physical evolution in his powers. That immediately raises massive questions. Is this connected to the symbiote teased at the end of No Way Home? Is Peter mutating further? Is the black suit finally coming? Because honestly, if Marvel slowly builds Tom Holland toward a darker, more emotionally unstable Spider-Man, that could become one of the best character arcs in the MCU, especially after everything Peter has suffered already. And if the symbiote truly enters the story, that changes everything emotionally, because the black suit storyline only works when Peter is emotionally vulnerable first. And right now, this version of Peter Parker is probably at the lowest point of his life. That's exactly when the symbiote becomes dangerous. Now, another reason this movie feels important is because of the rumored street-level focus. After years of giant multiverse chaos, fans genuinely seem exhausted. People want grounded storytelling again. Crime, corruption, emotional consequences, and Brand New Day feels like Marvel finally understands that, especially with Jon Bernthal reportedly returning as Punisher. Bro, that alone changes the tone completely, because Punisher immediately brings darker moral conflict into Spider-Man's world. Peter believes in saving people. Frank Castle believes some people deserve punishment. That philosophical clash could become one of the strongest parts of the movie if Marvel handles it correctly. And honestly, I really hope they lean into that tension, because Tom Holland's Spider-Man has never truly been pushed morally to his limits yet. Now, there are also rumors involving villains like Scorpion, Mr. Negative, Tombstone, and even possible appearances from the Hand. If true, this could become the most grounded and crime-focused Spider-Man movie we've had in the MCU so far. Almost like a blend between classic Spider-Man and Netflix Marvel. And honestly, that sounds amazing. There are even rumors about Mark Ruffalo potentially appearing as Hulk in some form, which sounds absolutely insane if true. Because imagine Peter trying to survive both street-level chaos and something as destructive as Hulk at the same time. That could become one of the MCU's most brutal Spider-Man fights ever. Now here's the bigger question. Can this movie actually save the MCU momentum before Doomsday? Honestly, I think it absolutely can, because Spider-Man has always been Marvel's emotional anchor character. When Spider-Man stories work, audiences reconnect emotionally with the universe again. That's why No Way Home became such a massive event globally, not just because of nostalgia, because people cared emotionally. And Brand New Day feels like Marvel trying to rebuild that emotional connection again before the next massive Avengers-level catastrophe happens. Now, timeline-wise, there's still confusion about whether this movie happens before or after Avengers Doomsday, and honestly, both options are interesting. If it happens before Doomsday, then this movie becomes the emotional calm before the storm. But if it happens after, then Brand New Day could explore the consequences of that event on ordinary people at street level. And honestly, I think that second option sounds way more interesting, because we rarely get to see how giant MCU events emotionally affect smaller heroes afterwards. At the end of the day, I think Marvel desperately needs this movie to succeed critically and emotionally, not just financially, emotionally, because audiences need to believe in Spider-Man again as the heart of the MCU moving forward. And honestly, this might finally be the mature Spider-Man story Tom Holland has been building toward all along. A lonely Peter Parker, broken emotionally, fighting crime alone, trying to stay hopeful in a city that barely notices him anymore. That's Spider-Man at his absolute best. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think Spider-Man Brand New Day can actually restore hype for the MCU before Doomsday? Or is Marvel already too deep into superhero fatigue? And would you rather see a grounded, street-level Spider-Man story or more multiverse madness again? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more movie discussions, MCU, DCU, or other pop culture topics. See you guys in the next one.